Now let's move even more deeply into the processes, into the steps, because I know that it is only through the repeating of them that they become ingrained and a natural part of our thinking processes. So now we're going to give even more of a clear explanation of these steps. First step, you got clear about what you desire and the desire underlying that desire. I want the relationship. What is underlying that relationship? Desire. Well, it's I want to feel love, I want to feel whole, etc., etc. So that is the first step. You can break those up into two different steps, or you could keep them as a part of the first step, because ultimately you're just getting clear about what you deeply desire. So that's the first step. The second step is you realize that this desire, this underlying desire, is already an attribute of your spirit, of who you truly are. So it's already an attribute. This is the second step. It's a realization. Okay, like my spirit is already loved. If I'm seeking wholeness, it's already whole. If I'm seeking abundance, it's already abundant. It's realizing that. So that's the second step, or the third. I feel like in the last part that I was trying to give us all an introduction into the processes, the third step was that step. But in this reiteration of it, it's the second step. So now let's move on to the third step here. The third step here now is that you set aside time every day. You have to practice. You can't just crush it at law of attraction or manifestation if you don't practice. Our minds are so untrained that we need so much practice. Maybe at such a high level, like an enlightened being level, things just happen. Like you don't even have to it's just like you're so aligned and in tune that instant manifestations happen. But for our mere mortals, like at this level that we need a lot of practice. So the third step is that practice. You set aside time, maybe 20 minutes every day. You sit down, you set an intention through prayer. Prayer is a way to set our intentions. So you pray to a higher power, to God, to, whatever you pray to, whoever is your spiritual master, spiritual source, and you pray in order to set that intention. So, dear God, I want to feel the love that I already am. I want to experience the abundance that I already am. I want to feel the wholeness of what I already am. I want to know who I am as you have created me. So you set that intention through that, and then you sit in meditation. Meditation is now a way to feel that intention that was just said. So that intention that we just said through that prayer, now we sit in meditation to feel that intention. It's like let it simmer in, or let it soak in, like seasoning, as Nicki Minaj said. Let it soak in. And meditation is our way of sitting and just letting it all sink in and soak in. So meditation is super important because it's our way of connecting to that state. Like I am loved, and now I'm going to sit and just feel that love. Over time and eventually, this will lead to an experience. So first you have to take it on faith. You have to act on faith. You have to act on belief, and you have to just believe it. But sooner or later, this is still part of the third step. This is still part of the experience. Let me put this into experience and see for myself. This is that third step. Sooner or later, you will have an experience that will take your belief, that will take your faith and solidify it into a knowing, into an experience. That's when you really feel the emotion. So it's not just some woo-woo nonsense thinking pattern that I'm just thinking and making up. No, I know it. I felt the kingdom of heaven within me. I know what's going on now. I know I am loved. I know I am abundant. This is not just some theory that is cool to understand and think about. I know it now. I've experienced it. I've seen and have looked within, have found myself not missing a single thing. I am whole. I am complete. I am fulfilled. I am completely loved as God has created me, as my Father has created me, as spirit. And so when you get to that place, all this thinking and believing is out the window. You don't need to believe anymore once you've seen it. It's like, now I know what's behind that door. I don't need to believe that there's going to be et cetera, behind that door. I already know what's behind that door. I don't need to now have faith in that. You just know. And that's when things start to get real interesting. Now, this fourth step may be the hardest as of yet for most of us. You have to go about your day and face your day-to-day experience, no matter what happens, with the same conviction and belief that is rooted in experience. It's beyond belief, but you have to have the belief when you're facing your day-to-day reality in life. Let's say you have a bad day. Your day goes south. Your day goes sour. You have to have the same belief and the same conviction that I am loved, I am worthy, I am abundant. Regardless of how my day went, I am still what I experienced in my meditation this morning. So if you were in meditation and you felt how loved you are, you felt how holy you are, you felt how innocent you are, you have to face your day with that same level of conviction. This is the faith that moves mountains. This is the kind of way of going about it that's not just rooted in situations, in external circumstances. This is rooted in the reality that you have felt within. When you get to a place when you are not outside dependent for what you feel, and you are instead creating from within, so your relationship with the world is not inside out versus outside in. Outside doesn't determine and decide what happens in here, but what happens in here determines and decides what happens out there. That's when you become a master creator, a powerful creator, which you truly are. We just have forgotten. So now we are just reclaiming and reconnecting to who we already are. So this is a super powerful step, but most likely will be the hardest step for most of us. And why is that? It's because our minds are so untrained. We have to train our minds to think and feel and be in this way. And one of the last remaining freedoms that we have is this power of choice, is this power of decision that I can choose what I think in here, that I can choose what I feel in here. Nobody can choose that for me. I can be in a prison cell or I can be in heaven, and I still decide what I feel in here. It's up to us. We don't think that. Our minds are so untrained that we don't realize that, but we are choosing that. Your thoughts are your choices, and when we don't decide those for ourselves, the world is so glad and so willing to decide it for us. Oh, feel fear. Yeah, feel fear. Yeah, I want you to feel fear, or feel stressed, or feel this. You decide. You are the master of your domain. You are the master of your mind. You are the captain of your destiny. The reason that is true is because you can decide what you think. And I personally didn't realize how powerful my mind is, and that the power of decision over my mind is in my hands. The key is in my hands. The remote control is in my hands. I get to decide. And I didn't realize it, but two things helped me, and I truly believe they will help you. And these will be the only two things that I will advise in terms of mind training in this video, because I truly believe that it is so personalized, the tool that would best help you. We are so individually different in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways we are the same. So even though we are individually very different, I truly believe our brains kind of work the same. So these two tools that I am recommending in this video, I believe are universal and general tools that would work for anyone. And no matter what level of readiness you're at, you will find some helpfulness within using them and practicing with them. The first is prayer, because prayer sets an intention and gives direction to your mind. So instead of your mind just running away, running around wherever it wants to go, you set the direction through that prayer. I want to feel love now. I want to experience feeling love now. I want to, sit down in this meditation and feel that I am worthy, that I am abundant, that I am guiltless, that I am forgiven, that I am loved. That's an intention setter. That's prayer as an intention setter. Prayer works amazingly when it's done and used in this way. The second thing is something we already talked about, just as well as we have talked about prayer, and it's the meditation. Meditation is something that I think would help any mind become more effective, any brain work more properly and more effectively, because meditation helps you focus. It helps you quiet your mind so that you can actually become more in control of your mind. You know how if there's a tornado going on or if there's a hurricane, how crazy it is to have control of anything. It's just chaos. Well, most of our minds are like that. It's just like chaos. But meditation doesn't make the chaos in the world go away. It makes the chaos in here go away. It makes you stand in the center of that tornado. So the tornado is still going on. You just now learn how to place yourself at the center of it versus being at the effect of it. So the meditation mixed with the prayer as an intention setter can be very powerful for anyone. But again, I highly advise you to tune into yourself and to your own intuition, which ultimately I believe is your best teacher and is your best advisor, and allow that intuitive guidance, or as I like to call it, the Holy Spirit, to guide you, because we all have that personal guidance. We all do. It's an inner voice. It's an inner knowing that we are just out of touch with for most of us. But if you learn to connect with that inner voice, that inner guidance, that inner advisor will direct you to the best paths, to the best tools, to the best practices for you. But despite of that, I think prayer and meditation will work for anyone in a very powerful way. So, but again, none of this stuff would work for anyone if you don't practice it. And so you have to put it in practice and see the fruits of it for yourself. And ideally, you want to practice them for over 90 days before you even expect to see any effects. But this is all because we need mind training. We need mind control in the terms that we need to control our mind. Because the term mind control is usually used in not a positive way. It's like somebody else is controlling your mind. But you want to be in control of your mind, so you need to do mind training practices so that you can regain control of your mind. Because your mind is the most powerful tool, is the true cause of any creation, any manifestation that you experience. Everything else is the effect of that true cause. So it's super important to train the mind to think along these right-minded thoughts and right-minded ideas. So now let's move on to the fifth step of this process. Step 5 is that you now have to pay attention to the inspirations that you will receive. So now you've been immersing yourself in these states. I am feeling whole, I am feeling loved, I am feeling abundant, etc., etc. As you are feeling those things on a consistent basis, as you're putting yourself in those states, you will begin to receive inspirations as you go about your day. You may be driving and it's 2 days later after a meditation session that you just really felt that deep love. You felt your spirit. You felt connected to God. After a day or two, randomly, you don't even have to be like meditating or anything. It could happen then, but it doesn't necessarily have to. An inspired idea, inspiration usually comes in the form of an inspired idea, pops into your head. And the way it feels, it's like, it's like a light bulb. It's literally like, there's a relief to it. There's an excitement to it. And there is a feeling of like a knowing of, I didn't come up with this idea. It just popped in my head. It just dropped in like a airdrop. And now you have access to that file, but you have to act upon it. And so that, in a sense, you can say that action is like the 6th step, but the inspiration is this 5th step. You have to pay attention to these inspirations that you will receive, because these inspirations are the true channel through which these states that you have been feeling within will be extended outwardly out of you into the world to serve not only you, but also others. So you've been feeling abundance within you every day. You've been practicing that. You've been feeling love every day. You've been practicing that. Inspiration will come to you that will help extend that abundance to others, that would help give that love that you have felt within, that wholeness that you have felt within, and give it and share it to others. And as you share it, you shall also receive it, because you are now giving of your wholeness. And that wholeness has no other way but to be reflected back to you, because the mind, like I said in the very beginning of the video, is a projector. It's always projecting your reality. What you hold consistently in the mind and infused with emotion gets projected outwardly, gets extended outwardly, and then you experience it back. So it's like what you're putting out, you're going to get back receive back. And so now these inspired ideas are helping extend the love, the wholeness, the healness that you've been feeling within out into the world, and it's going to boomerang right back to you. And so you are sharing them with others, and it has no other way but to be reflected back to yourself. But keep in mind also that it's not enough just to believe it in your meditation. You have to actually go out about your day with the same level of conviction. Again, I just gave a whole speech about, the mind training and the importance of that. That's why, because you can't, the meditation by itself is not enough. You have to respond to every situation throughout your day-to-day life with that level of conviction, with that same level of conviction, with that same level of faith and belief that you truly felt within your meditation. You have to go about your day and your day tries to show you otherwise. No, I am loved. I know what I am. I know who I am. And that level of conviction, that level of faith, that moves mountains. That is a different place to come from. And that is the place that is actually needed to put the mind at the true cause. You have to be that willing, to be that convicted, and that short, and that have that much faith. So it's very powerful, but it takes a lot of practice. So the next step is action, rather inspired action more accurately. And the reason for that is that these inspirations will come in various ways. As I earlier discussed, they will come in most likely in a form of an inspired idea. It may be somebody else says something and you get a massive inspiration from that. I've had that happen to me too, where I'm watching a YouTube video and I just, boom, like one line somebody says, like just gives me a huge inspiration for something. But most often it's like a nudge, an inner nudge, and it's an inner whisper. An inspired idea just pops into your head. You have to act on it. And the reason for that is because action is what leads to the manifestation of that inspiration. So that inspiration by itself is just a seed. That seed will be nothing if it's not planted and if it's not watered. You see what I'm saying? That seed is massive, infinite potential. That seed can give birth to a massive oak tree, but you have to act upon it. So now let's put this into an example. I may have the inspiration for a business, so I've been immersing myself in this experience of abundance. So every day I've been feeling abundance. I've been feeling whole. I've been feeling complete. I've been feeling fulfilled, healed, complete, abundant, most importantly, as it relates to this example. And then boom, one day I'm going about my business after I've been doing these things in a consistent basis. I get this inspired idea for a business. But if I don't act upon that inspired idea for that business, that abundance that I have been feeling within, it will not get actualized out in the world, in a sense reflected back to me, and the abundance that is contained within that business idea, it would not be given me, and I would not experience it because I didn't act upon the inspiration for it. The inspiration was the channel through which that abundance that I first felt within and watered with my mind and my emotion, infused with emotion, and consistently held within my mind, that abundance, that inspiration was the channel through which that abundance was going to be made manifest. And if I don't act upon that inspiration, the manifestation will never lead to that abundance being physicalized for me and coming through that physical form if I don't act upon the inspiration. In a lot of the same way, to use another example, is a relationship. If I desire a relationship and I've been doing these practices, I've been immersing myself in that love, in that wholeness that I wish to receive and that I desire, realize it as an attribute of my spirit now. Through meditation and prayer, I experience that every day. I put myself in that state. And then boom, one day I get this inspired idea to go to a gathering that I'm invited to, or a gathering that's in town. And I am just inspired to go. But if I don't go, if I don't act on that inspiration, and this has actually happened for me. This is literally the case of how I met, the love of my life. I had to act upon the inspiration to go to a certain gathering in order to meet the person that I am in a beautiful, loving, committed relationship with. Had I not acted upon the inspiration, the love that I first felt within would not have extended outward into a physical form for me to be in and enjoy. So again, it's like a boomerang, right? You first feel it within and then it goes out and it gets reflected back to you. It's like this. It's like I first feel the love within me. I keep watering, I keep watering it, or I keep immersing myself in that. And the inspired idea comes to me to attend a meeting or whatever it may be. And maybe obviously it will be different for you. It's going to be different. The inspired ideas are going to be different for every person because they're meant for that person at that particular time. It wouldn't be an inspired idea if it wasn't absolutely perfect for your time and place and who you are. Because that's how the Spirit works. The Spirit knows the future and what is to come. It knows the past. It knows who you are as, your personality, as you perceive yourself. Like, it knows everything. So when it gives you an idea, again, inspiration in spirit, when Spirit gives you an idea, it's so much more powerful than an idea you would ever have because it's aligning everything in your favor. It's working exactly in the best way for you. So these inspired ideas are just, if a normal seed can yield, like if, let's say a seed for an orange tree. So if that seed can lead to a normal, regular orange tree, an inspired seed can lead to a whole farm of orange trees. So it's like so much more powerful. It has so much more potential. And so I personally have to act upon that inspiration to go to that certain meeting to meet the love of my life, which is really the extension of the love that I first felt within. It's being extended outwards and boomerang back to me as a way to, it's just how it works. It's the mind as a cause, it projects, and everything in the world of form is its effect. So what I hold within my mind consistently and combine with emotion, those things will be made manifest because they are the effect of what is held within my mind. The mind is the cause, the world is effect, and it will be boomerang back to me. And actions will lead to the consequences that their energy was rooted in. So these inspired ideas for these inspired actions, they come and they will match what I've been feeling within. So if I've been really honing in on that feeling of love, if I've been honing in on that feeling of abundance, these actions and these inspired ideas, they will match that frequency. They will be aligned with love. So the action will lead to results that would also match that same frequency, that same love. So I felt love, got an idea that was based in love, took action on that idea based in love, and it led to more love. It's just boom, extension to extension. It's like imagine like yourself, you're like a ball of light, and it's just extending big. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the way it gets bigger is because you immerse yourself in that state every day, and you have faith and belief as you go throughout your day. This light gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, it's overflowing out of you. It's pouring. Your cup overflows, or what's the saying? Your cup poureth over, and it flows into your physical reality and gets reflected back to you in many ways, in the form that will be best for you. And if you have any questions about anything that I discussed, or you would like to dive more deeply into any of the topics that I talked about in this video, which there were a lot of them, and a lot of powerful topics were discussed in this video. If you want more help with any of those things in a specific way that is best suited for you, please check out my link in the description. That is a link to my one-on-one coaching service that I've began to offer recently, as that one-on-one coaching service is the channel through which I can be of most help to you. Because the most help will be provided for you if it's done in a personalized manner. As I said earlier in the video, if something is not personalized, if a form of practice is not personalized, if I just give general advice all the time, that may have some helpfulness. It may even have some helpfulness for a lot of people, but it wouldn't be maximized for you because it's not properly tailored for you. So yes, I made a sock that may fit everyone, but it may not fit perfectly for you. So if you want to dive more deeply into any of these topics, learn more about them, and have us discuss what path would be best for you to follow, then please check out that link in the description, as again, it's the link to my one-on-one coaching service. And I would love to see you within that container and within that format. As I said, we can go much more deeply into anything that I've discussed in this video or on my channel in general. So I hope to see you in that, and I hope to talk to you soon within that format and that container. Thank you guys for checking out that short clip from one of my longer videos that is linked right here. If you want to watch that, click that. And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos from me on your homepage in YouTube. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.